Next, back to Lieutenant Davis. We're in the cell block area.
All right. I'm going to follow you
Good
then.
to see you again, Mike.
Yeah, good to see you again.
I'm going to start you at the beginning and then walk you through
All right.
from the Sallyport area.
Again, I'm surprised on how big the actual building is. From the outside, it didn't look like it had this many different rooms, this many different areas.
It doesn't look this big from the outside, but when you start going through the labyrinth of hallways.
Yeah, it's very cool to
does
see all that
break
kind
up.
of stuff.
So this is our Sallyport. So
Okay.
if you don't know what a Sallyport is, because until they built this building, I've never heard of the term before. So
Okay.
Sallyport is an area that gives us a safe spot to transfer prisoners to and from our vehicles. So out on the street, if we have to take someone into custody, they'll transport them to our station. And when they get to this back garage door here, they will call to our dispatcher and ask them to raise the garage door.
Okay.
They'll pull the car in here, and then the dispatcher will close the door behind them. That gives us a nice, safe, secure area to be able to transfer the prisoner out of the car.
Sure. I think it also gives you away from the prying eyes of the public that might be involved in some of this stuff, or a friend that's kind of showing up and wants to give their 2 cents. This is a good way to keep everybody secure and keep them safe.
Absolutely. Before we get them out of the car, we'll pull in. Officer will get out of the car, and they'll actually come over here to this gun locker. So we have a gun locker on this side of the cell area, and we have one out where we just came from.
Okay.
So when you enter from that end, you can secure your weapon as well.
Okay.
So they'll get out of the car, and they'll come over here, and then they will secure their weapon in this gun locker
Nice.
and close it, and they'll keep the key. And then after that, they can go ahead and remove the prisoner or whoever they have in custody out of the vehicle.
Right. And again, that's due to your safety and the safety of the prisoner that's at that time.
That's correct.
Okay.
A couple other miscellaneous things we have in here. We have storage over here. We have storage over here.
Okay.
Just basic patrol needs, flares, supplies,
Right.
and so on. And the door over there goes into our staff services area, which I'll show you a little bit later.
All right. Sounds good.
So
I
after
like that it's nice and bright too.
It is.
You know, no matter what time of day or night, you can see what's going on.
Yeah, and they've improved it over the years. These new LEDs are super bright compared to the old fluorescent.
I may have to get them for my garage.
I know, exactly.
All right, so we got it. I'm going to kind of walk it through, see if I'm on it right. We brought a guy in, or a girl, got him out of the car, we secure our weapon, got him out of the car, and now we're going into the holding area?
Yes, we're going into the detention facility.
Okay.
Okay. So once we get into the detention hallway here, we have a couple of different areas where we can go, depending on why the person got arrested or why we have them in custody.
Okay.
So this first area right here is kind of it's a processing area,
Okay.
for lack of a better term. The main reason we use this area is for drawing blood for DUIs.
Okay.
I know that you talked to Detective Sergeant Benner about VMSC assisting us with that.
Yeah.
Years ago, we always used to go to the hospital.
Okay.
And it was A, a safety issue, and B, it took a lot of time.
Yeah.
Luckily, we were able to talk to VMSC, and they've been nice enough to let us call them when we have somebody, and when they're available, they come directly here. So
Right.
now we don't have that security issue anymore where we have to worry about transferring from a car into a hospital, onto a hospital bed, especially if they're unruly.
Right.
And here, we have more control over the situation.
Right.
So that's
And
what this
chain
chair.
Chain of custody is smaller.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is a
Phlebotomy chair.
phlebotomy chair.
Yep.
So this is where that all happens. Another reason that we can use this room is we do have internet access here.
Okay.
If need be, we can do FaceTime videos here, remote videos here. We used to use this a lot for video arraignments,
Okay.
but that process has changed over the years, so we don't use it quite as much as we used to in this room.
Right.
But we do have the ability, if we need to, be able to. Right now, I would say doing an emergency PFA.
Okay.
Sometimes people will show up on the weekends, so we can remote into a judge wherever in the county they may be
Okay.
to talk to a victim.
Okay.
And they can sit at this table and talk to the judge.
Right. Looks like the old fingerprinter.
This is the old system. When Lieutenant Dockery and I both got hired, this is the way we took fingerprints.
Right. Now they have like digital ones too. And
Yes.
that's what, when I got to get my security checks for my child abuse and stuff like that every 2 years, I think it is. Now they just digital. But it's the same concept, right?
It is. It's the same concept. The old way of doing things, if you came in and told us your name was John Doe, and we couldn't figure out who you were, we would have to roll your prints on ink, send the prints into the state police, and then wait for a response, however many weeks that may be, to find out exactly who you were.
Right.
In the next room, I'll show you our digital way of doing it. It's instant now.
Yeah.
As soon as we put your fingerprints in the machine, within 5 minutes, it gives us information on who you are.
That actually is very beneficial because then you don't have to detain that person for those weeks waiting for them to get back to you.
Correct.
It's instantaneous.
Correct.
That's cool.
So the next room that we'll head over to is actually our processing room. This is where almost everybody comes immediately, is to this processing area.
Okay.
So if we have someone in custody that needs to be fingerprinted and photographed, this is where everything is done.
Yeah, this is what I'm familiar with.
Correct. So we'll bring the subject in, we'll make sure that they're searched and they're safe. We will uncuff them and we'll have them take a seat right there.
Yeah.
We always have 2 people down here doing that.
Okay.
So
this is pretty much what the old term used to be. This is their old mug shot. This is where you get that done.
Exactly.
Okay.
So one officer will be over here. This is a computer system that goes into our records management system.
Okay.
So that officer can take information from this person and enter all the data into our records management system.
Okay.
The officer that's over here at the same time will be entering his information and his or her information into the state system.
Okay.
The fingerprint system.
Yep.
Once everything's entered into the system, they have them take photographs. We have a little backlight here we turn on for them.
Hey. It's like my little studio in my basement that I do filming with.
That's right. So they stand up, we take pictures of their face, and we take pictures of any scars, marks, tattoos that are prominent that we can take pictures of.
That makes sense.
Once we take their picture, we have them come over here, and it's simply this piece of glass right here.
Yep.
You put your finger on it and you roll it, and the fingerprint shows up on the screen.
Okay.
And we'll take fingerprints of all 10 fingers, palms, side of the palms, and then we will enter the rest of the information in the system and send it to the state.
Right.
And then usually within 5 minutes, our dispatcher will have a printout.
Okay. So now that connects your fingerprints with your picture and,
Exactly.
and any identifying marks. So now it's together. So if you've never been in the system before, this is the first time you've had that process. It's now in the system,
now in the system.
and it's together. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I got the wrong fingerprints on that.
Nope,
it's right here.
All locked in together. And if they're telling you a name that's completely different from their own,
Right.
you can put that name in there. Their fingerprints aren't going to lie because it's going to link them to their actual name, and that's the information we'll get back out of the system.
Yeah.
Now, the name they gave us will show up as an alias
Okay.
on their rap sheet now.
Okay.
So they know that if they get arrested again, they'll see that they've used that alias in the past.
Gotcha. Okay.
But primarily, that's what this room is.
Okay.
Okay.
So now we've made it from the Sallyport. We came in. Now we got processed,
Correct.
meaning identified. Make sure we have all of our stuff. You've checked me for any belongings that I might have, and do you secure those belongings? Like if I had to give you my wallet?
Yes. So we have a cell log. So we will start a cell log where we put all of their information, find out if they are on any medications or if they need any medications while they're in our care, and on the back of that sheet is a property log. And we will log every little piece of property that they came in with. And then we'll have them sign for that. Now what we will do is we will take you out here and I'll show you where we actually store that.
Okay.
So we'll take their personal property down to this doorway on the right.
Okay.
And this is prisoner property. So in the prisoner property room, we have these file cabinets, and each file cabinet drawer is assigned to each one of our cells.
Okay.
So if
Easy
we
way
put
to do
someone
it.
in A1, we'll take all of their property and put it in A1. And if there's anything large that won't fit in here, we have these crates that are all logged with the cell that they belong to.
Makes it simple.
That's where they are. We know it's secure, and they feel they're getting all their stuff back.
All right.
Nothing gets mixed up in the process.
Right.
Now, once we're done processing the person we have in custody, we will select which cell to put them in.
Okay.
And that may be determined by if we have anybody currently in the cell or not.
Okay.
So we can't intermix
Male
sexes
permanent? Okay.
in cells. So if we have a male lodged in one of these 2 cells, we will lodge, if it's a female, in one of these other 2 cells.
Okay.
Okay. So we have 3 cell blocks. We have cell block A, B, and C.
Wow.
And we have 2 cells in each cell block.
And cell block. Okay.
So 1 person per cell.
Okay. Now, how long typically would someone be locked in a cell block before they get transferred to a prison or something like that?
In years past, it was much longer. Recently, it's not that long anymore because the arraignment process has changed. All arraignments now are held down at the Montgomery County Prison.
Okay.
Prior to that, we used to do remote arraignments here. So we were at the mercy of the judge. So if the judge called, and if it was 8 o'clock in the morning, the judge said, I'll be available 2 in the afternoon, then they sat here for 6 hours until they could see the judge.
Okay. And that's no fault of the police department themselves.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's just the way that
It's just the way the system worked.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now we will lodge them until we get their rap sheet and their information back.
Okay.
We'll decide whether they have to get arraigned or not. And if they have to get arraigned, they get placed back in a patrol vehicle, transported down to Montgomery County Prison, and they take care of the rest of the process with the arraignment. So they're out of our custody. So we don't have that liability here as much as we used to.
Okay.
Which is nice.
Right. I like that it's nice and open. You have the old traditional bars versus a window or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have video in here so people can see it, because they mentioned that during the dispatch section, correct?
Yes. So we have audio and video cameras in both spots so we can hear them. Dispatcher can talk to them if they're having a problem down here.
Okay.
That's why they're monitored 24/7. If we have somebody down here, dispatch keeps an eye on them.
Right.
Keeps the speaker on so they can hear if anything's going on. And if they're having a medical emergency, if they need something, they need to make a phone call, they can contact our dispatcher.
Okay. Okay. And they have everything that they need in there. They got
have everything
kind
they
of a
need
bed. It's not
temporarily.
comfortable, but yeah.
Correct.
You got a bed, you got a toilet, you got a sink, everything that you need until the judge can take
Exactly.
care of.
And they have privacy too.
Yeah.
So the cameras are situated in such a way that they do have privacy if they need to use the facilities.
Right.
So each cell is the same. They're
Okay.
identical. So we do have 3 cell blocks.
Okay.
I'll
We
walk
don't
it
need to
down the
repeat
hallway
that
here.
then. If they're all the same, it's easy enough.
2 cells there, and we have 2 cells there.
Okay.
So that, as far as having someone in custody, that pretty much covers everything down here.
Okay.
The only other room down here to show you is the one right behind you here, and this is just a storage room for our bike unit
Okay.
and for our
Looks like some tactical gear or
our
riot
tactical
gear.
guys keep some of their equipment down here too. So
yeah.
we have 4 bikes. We have 4 guys that are in the unit right now.
Okay.
That number fluctuates from time to time.
Right. Now, when we went to Phoenixville, they had a bike guy that's on almost 24/7 all year round, even cold he was out there. Do you guys typically have a bike team that's out with patrol, or do you assign it during the good weather
We're
or
usually
festivals?
during the fairer weather days. We have guys that can go out depending on the manpower at the time. So we have enough manpower on the street, and we have a bike guy that's working that day.
Okay.
Generally, we like to get them out there.
Nice.
We basically use them a lot for social events.
Yeah.
We have the autumn festival and different events throughout the year, and we like to have the bike guys out for
Yeah, we saw the calendar, the community policing part of it. You got a lot of stuff going on.
Oh yeah, Jason's got a lot going on for sure.
So you mentioned the staff services that you have, which many departments don't. Can we go take a look at that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's right out the back here.
All right.
Okay, so our Sallyport is over here to the right.
Yep,
We
that's
just
where-
saw the inside of that.
Okay.
And then over here to our left is our staff services section.
I really enjoy this. Now, many of the fire departments have a lot of tricks of the trade, or, we do a lot of skilled stuff. I'm an auto mechanic. I do welding and that kind of stuff. People are carpenters and electricians, computer guys. That's what this guy is then, right? Pretty much?
He's kind of a jack of all trades in our department. He really is. He takes care of a lot of our IT stuff. He works very closely with the township IT department. He takes care of, which he's actually setting up now, all our new computers. So throughout the years, we rotate computers as time goes by and technology gets better.
Sure.
So right now, he's actually setting up our patrol room with all new computers.
Okay.
He's taking care of our Axon equipment. We just got new tasers, new body cameras. So there's a lot of electrical wiring and stuff that has to get run now to be able to handle all the new equipment.
Right, right.
So he handles that.
And it looks like he also handles vehicles. I love the black and whites, the traditional black and whites.
Traditional black and whites. Yeah, he actually handles our whole fleet. We have a 20-car fleet right now. So it does get a little bit cumbersome for him because he has to, deal with the stuff that he can fix, which is nice to have him around because if a headlight goes out or your light bar goes out and he's here, We can pull right up, he can fix it, and the car's right back in service.
My last 2 shifts, I had a nail in a tire. I had to get that plugged. And then I had a light bulb out, and I actually filmed it. So going to the local place, we used Bigfoot, which is near us. But, you know, we have to maintain our vehicles. They have to be ready at all times. And the fact that you guys thought in the administrative side, we need to bring somebody on to take care of that, cuts a lot of that time out of there. You don't have to schedule an appointment. You don't have to disrupt what the local auto mechanic's doing. You have extra tires. You can switch those over. You have that kind of stuff. Is really awesome to see.
Yeah,
Not many departments do that.
We don't have the downtime for small repairs and fixes, which is really nice because you know they can build up. One car gets a flat tire one day, the next day you get another one that has a flat, or you get one where a headlight goes out. If we have a headlight go out, we don't drive around with a headlight out.
Right.
It's illegal. We can't stop people for headlights out and expect to drive around with headlights
Right,
out. So it's nice to have somebody here that can fix that right on the spot.
That's awesome.
But he takes care of transporting the cars back and forth from our auto mechanic to do the more in-depth repairs, to take cars into warranty work at the Ford dealer.
Yep.
And I could go on and on and on with the things that he takes care of. Probably a lot of little things I didn't even know about.
I kind of wish he was here. I would almost do an old segment on him because, you know, the different vehicles that we use, whether it's a pickup truck, whether it's the Ford Explorers that we use, or the old Crown Vics, you know, I could talk hours for that. Because like I said, I'm a mechanic by trade on the side. I could talk for hours.
You would never leave. You guys would be chewing the fat all day long for sure.
All he needs is a lift in here. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's the only thing he's missing.
Yeah,
the only thing he's missing.
We'll have to work on that. So if you know anybody that's out there that's watching the video that's in this area, you want to donate a lift, he'd appreciate it.
And you can see the pile of equipment he's got over here. This is all stuff that's staged that he has to install.
Okay.
He has to get done. So he's got his work cut out for him for the next 6 months for sure.
Absolutely. This is cool. And then the next thing we have, and pretty much as we're starting to end this up, is going to be the Canine unit, correct?
That's correct.
And we're going to meet up with another officer.
Yes, Officer Haber, and he's right here waiting for you.
All right, let's go take a look. Okay, so we're meeting up with, say your name again?
Drew Haber.
Nice to meet
Good
you.
to meet you.
Thank you so much for taking your time out of your day. This is one thing that we have not highlighted is the specialty service as a canine. I know there's a lot of departments out there that had them and got rid of them, then, you know, they want them, or they say, no way, we're never getting a dog. So I love dogs. And a police dog is a good thing. Can you explain to me what your service is, how it all goes about, and how it works?
So we have a canine unit here. Obviously, we have 3 dogs right now. Patrol, narcotics. Narcotics means methamphetamine, cocaine, and heroin. And patrol means they track, find evidence, and apprehend suspects.
Okay, so each dog has its own specialty, or all 3 dogs kind of do all the same thing?
All 3 dogs do the same thing. We don't have any bomb dogs at the moment, but hoping to get one in the future.
Okay. And then how do the dogs work? Do you own the dog? Does the department own the dog? Who takes care of the dog?
Montgomery Township owns the dog.
Okay.
I handle the dog, so it's technically in Montgomery Township's name, but I am the sole handler.
Okay, so then you take it home and spend time with it and train it?
We're one of the only departments around. All our dogs live at the station. They live in a kennel facility.
Oh, nice.
It's right over there.
Okay.
So we'll go check that out.
Okay, yeah, let's check it out.
All right.
Now, your car, we'll talk about that in a little bit, is a specialty car, too. It's not the typical Crown Vic that can transport people. You have a dog cage in that that's specific for that dog, right?
Yes, in the rear seat, it's climate controlled, and an alarm goes off when it gets too hot.
Okay. So since these are our township employees, you have a nice kennel here.
Yes, sir.
Wow, okay. And they all live in here?
This is Canine Dante's run. You'll meet him in just a minute.
Okay.
This is my dog, Canine Riggs.
So what do you just use this to do, like you said, narcotics and patrol, or do you show? You know, I've seen a lot of dog shows and stuff like that.
We participate every year in the PD1 certifications through United States Police Canine Association. As you can see up there.
Oh, wow. You got a ton of trophies.
Past awards, yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's telling me you're doing something right.
That was the unit in the past, but yes.
So this is pretty cool to see. It almost feels like a nice SPCA where you can keep these dogs, keep them comfortable, climate controlled. You know, I was freezing outside today.
Very nice.
And here it's nice and climate controlled, well cared for these animals. They go inside and outside as they please?
Yes, they have dog doors here. Open this one up and show you. They can go in and out.
Okay. Very slick.
And then the runs are outside where they can use the bathroom.
Right. So how long have you been doing canine patrol?
I've been in Canine for about 2.5 years.
Okay.
We get our dogs from Tar Heel down in North Carolina. They're all imported from overseas in Europe, and then we go down, select them, and
What does it take to be certified as a patrol canine? Is there a certification the dogs have to go through too?
yeah. So you have to go to patrol school. It's like a canine academy, and then after the patrol school, you come back and we get recertified through United States Police Canine Association.
Okay. And how long a process is that usually?
The patrol academy is 4 weeks, and then we come back. We do an additional 2 to 3 weeks with our trainer here in house.
Now, I've heard from some of the friends that I have that, when you're taking care of a dog like this, it's almost its own full-time job too. Because it's not just putting them on the street and working that 9 to 5. It's also making sure that they continually train, just like we're training, with the ACLS or PALS or whatever. You're doing training too, because I saw with the drone, you have an outside facility to run the dogs and stuff through too.
So a lot of time goes into the dogs. We're required to do 16 hours a month.
So one of the questions I have is, what kind of dogs do you actually use?
We use German Shepherds or Belgian Malinois. My dog is a cross between the two. We have one German Shepherd and then one full Belgian Malinois.
Okay. One of the questions that I've had over the past is, are these the kind of dogs that you can pet? Are they like pets that you can pet?
I would say it depends on the demeanor of the dog. We have some dogs that you can pet and others that you can't, but always remember to ask the handler if you can or can't pet the dog. Okay. And get some permission beforehand.
Right. It's pretty cool to see these kind of services, because there are things that we can't detect, and find, and having that availability to, search for people. You guys do searches, correct?
Yes, we do. We our dogs all are trained in tracking, whether that's a missing person, a suspect, or a kid that wanders away from home. We can have the dogs tracked to where their location is.
Okay. Are we able to see your dog?
Absolutely.
Okay. What's the name of your dog?
His name's Canine Riggs.
Okay.
And he's super friendly. He's one of the ones you can pet.
All right. Officer Riggs.
So he's a leaner. He just wants some love and to be pet.
And how old is this dog?
He's about 4 years old. He'll be 4 in May. His birthday's coming up. Get him a nice pup cup.
Okay. About how long do dogs are in service?
Our dog is typically 8, 9, 10 years, depending on when they start slowing down.
Wow, that much. Okay. So you just kind of track them. If they start getting, more aches and pains.
Right. Yeah. Then
you will get them retired.
Then we'll retire him, and when he retires, I'll adopt him and take him home with me.
Okay.
Can't wait. I'm going to take him everywhere with me.
Right. And tell us a little bit more about your car. How does this all go together?
So this is the kennel in the back. Kennel in the back. It's got a floor mat, a lot of space for the dog. I have a water bowl in there for him, and it's all climate controlled. So when it gets too hot in there, an alarm goes off and alerts me. That way the dog's not overheating in the car or anything.
Right. Do you have remote doors that you can open up if
we
you need
do
to?
have remote doors. Have it on my lapel here.
Okay. Oop. Just like that.
Pops open if I need the dog. I'm out on the street or anything.
Okay.
I can just pop the dog out, and he'll come help me out.
Right. Is there any other specialty thing that you have to have for this vehicle? Do you respond to like regular traffic controls, or your job is a little bit different than everybody else?
I do respond to regular traffic controls. I'm part of the patrol division here. Out on patrol, if another municipality needs a dog for a canine job, whether that be a track, an article search, drug search, or a dangerous suspect, we'll respond out to local jurisdictions and assist them.
Okay, so you do a lot of assists. About how many calls do you go to in a month time?
I would say in a month about 5 to 10 canine calls.
Nice. It's keeping you busy for sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for opening this up and taking a look at this. This is definitely something that we haven't seen before. We've done search and rescue with dogs, but a canine dog is pretty cool to see. And the fact that Montgomery Township is doing all these different disciplines, whether it's the community policing, whether it's the canine, all the other things that they've been doing. It's really awesome to know that a township in Pennsylvania is being this proactive to protect their community.
It's the best job in the world. I love riding around with my buddy in the car all the time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think we'll head back in and we'll end up finishing this up. All right, Lieutenant, we're back to where we started. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and giving us this grand tour.
Thank you,
It's
Mike.
very special to us.
Good.
Like I said, we're trying to highlight all public service, and you guys are part of that team. So thank you very much, LT.
Thank you very much for taking the time to visit us.
Yeah. One thing before we end, once again, if someone wants to get a hold of you and, maybe apply or, have questions about becoming a police officer, how would they go about doing that?
So Montgomery Township has several social media platforms. You could just look us up in any way you could figure looking us up, Montgomery Township in Pennsylvania, and you'll be able to see when we're hiring, what our events are, what other public outreach programs we would have going, and we would welcome people to apply.
Okay. I'm going to try to put a link below. I'll search those too. So if you are definitely interested, you're in the area, or even if you're out of the area and you want to move to Pennsylvania, great place to live, this is the place to do it. Thank you all for watching. Once again, this was Heroes Next Door doing a Station Cribs with the Montgomery Township Police Department. Stay safe, take care of each other. We'll see you again next week.